instrumentals.
It's what the streets needed.
It's the #1 podcast for cleaning business owners. Candid Cleaning Conversations.
Cleaning conversations, candid cleaning conversations, candid cleaning conversations, candid cleaning conversations.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. It is your host, Mrs. Johnson, and I have my co-host on my side here, Miss Tamika. And we are going to be talking about pros and cons in the cleaning industry, okay? So a lot of you guys know that I usually specialize in apartment complex move-outs and Airbnbs. That is my thing. That's what I love to do. We will accept other, like maybe a small office or something like that on the side, but for the most part, we are apartment complex move-in, move-outs. We do any type of move-in, move-outs and Airbnbs. That's our thing, right? So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the pros and cons in these industries, okay? For anybody that's thinking about going into Airbnbs or move-in, move-out cleaning, we're going to be talking today about some of the pros and some of the cons, okay? You ready, co-host?
Yes, and just to piggyback off you saying, so you guys, just let you guys know that it may be a little different for you, just, where you're at and the apartment complexes and Airbnbs that you have. This is just what we experience, and this is what we do to deal with.
Right, correct. So let's start off with apartment complexes. Man, pros and cons. So let's go down the pros first of apartment complexes. One of the pros that I feel is they're really not hard to win. They're really not. I mean, I have won just about all of my apartment complexes by simply going in with the flyer and pitching my services, or I'll cold call and I'll win a contract that way. And that's it. I didn't do any email marketing campaigns. I didn't run any ads. I didn't do nothing special. That is it. That's the only thing I did, and that's how I was able to win those contracts. So I feel like apartment complexes, they're easy to get. That's one of the pros, okay? Another pro that I feel like they have is you can get, if you win the right contract, you can get a lot of units from one property, right? So we find out to where we might win one contract and they'll give us multiple units. They'll probably give us about, I'll say about 3 or 4 every week, So that's a pretty good property if they're keeping you busy like that. They'll keep you busy.
Right.
And that's pretty good if they give you 3 to 4 a week. That's decent. Not only that, but my third pro is a lot of times they will have a brother-sister property, and they'll send us to the brother-sister property. We won one contract one time that had like 4 other properties, connected. And they said, hey, man, if you can get in and pass our compliance, man, we'll give you all the properties. So that is a pro to me. That's excellent. That's good because we need the work, right? All right. Let's move on over here to these cons that we have.
Okay. So I know with the cons, the first thing is they don't pay on time.
They do not like to pay on time, y'all. I don't know if anybody's listening and y'all have apartment complexes and they pay on time, much love to you. Please call me and let me know what you're doing to make them pay on time, baby.
Please, what is your secret?
We have tried everything. Like we'll send them emails, your follow-up emails, agent reports. And it gets to the point where we just have to stop the service until we receive all of the funds and they catch up with payment before we can continue working with them. But I only really see that happen in this industry with apartment complexes, right? I don't see that happen with Airbnbs, and we'll talk about that later on. But that is one of the cons that we have. A lot of them do not like to pay you on time, okay?
Even past that, yeah, even past the 30 days.
Sometimes. Right.
So number 2, here, nasty. They are nasty. I mean, nasty sometimes. Like, and they should know better about that. They be having species and stuff in there. And I mean, come on, man.
I just sent a contractor there, and she was like, Miss Johnson, I cannot do that unit. They got feces in the tub. How you get feces in the tub? Okay, so they had feces all over the bathroom, the contractor told me, and I told them not to clean it. Like, no way. It's in our service agreement that we do not handle bio. They cannot make your cleaning company clean up blood, clean up feces. If it's roach infested, we don't do that. You know, they have to take care of that on their end, and then we handle the cleaning, but we're not cleaning up no boo-boo, okay? So
right.
that's one of the cons. They can get a little nasty. Not a little nasty, a lot nasty.
Right. And let's see. They don't like to pay enough. You know, I noticed that with the work that it takes to require to clean a unit. They don't like to pay. They just be like, okay, well, we're going to pay you this amount. But they don't understand your time. Like to scrub out that refrigerator, to scrub out that stove. I'm bad some
like
ugly stove.
Right. So I know here in Savannah where we're at, the going price for apartment complexes usually fluctuates between $120 and $150. If you can get an apartment complex in Savannah, Georgia to pay you $150 for all of your apartment turns, more power to you. You're doing excellent.
Right.
Because I know I've been doing this apartment complexes since 2018, and you know, I've been around to just about all of these apartments in my city, so I know the game. I know what's going on. I know the amount for my city. For your city, it may be different. I talked to a girl before. She emailed me and said that her apartment complexes were at $250. And she said, should I go up? I said, oh my God, you're doing great. They're paying you $250 a turn. Woo! You know? So that's one of the bad things that's one of the things that I
think it could be the area too. Your surrounding area. Because I don't know, like what I've noticed in California, they do pay.
Yeah, they may pay you in California. Yeah. Because I mean, well, the cost of living is higher there too, but the cost of living is growing here too. So I have no idea what it is. I don't know, but I hate the fact that apartment complexes don't really value the cleaning companies that come in. They'll value the carpenter, the man that comes in and cleans the carpet. They'll value the painters, and the painters make more. Everybody makes more than the cleaning company, you know? So that's the thing that's the only con that I would say about move outs.
Right. And I notice sometimes the apartments, they're not ready when you send like your contractors out. You have to constantly get that call to contractor say, this apartment not ready because the painters, they're not finished. They'll send you pictures of, you know, just dust everywhere. It's my God. That's a big con for me.
Like, I cannot tell you how many times we've had a contractor call and say, hey, I drove all the way out here to this unit and this unit is not ready. Oh my gosh. So that's another con. The communication between the maintenance guy and the office.
Oh,
it sucks sometimes because sometimes the office will call us and book these cleans and the clean is not even ready. Like the unit has not even been turned yet. The unit has not been painted or anything. So I'll send my contractors out there and they'll go there and the unit's not turned. So now they're upset with us.
Right.
Not realizing that, hey, goddamn. You know
what I noticed more, the people at the front office, like the property manager, they don't know nothing. It's more so the maintenance guy. So my people, when you go and get these apartment complexes, try to see who is the maintenance
guy,
because that's exactly who you're going to be referring to, because they know more than anything, because they're controlling everything.
Right. Usually the maintenance guy at these apartment complexes knows whether the unit is ready to be clean or not. A lot of times the office manager, she might not know. She's just booking. So I've developed a habit of just getting the maintenance guy's phone number and calling him directly.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And not only that, but I put his number on our app for our contractors to give them a call before they drive out there now. So that's what we do.
Okay. And lastly, oh my God, this need to be a double, triple star. When I tell you
They are
picky.
picky.
They are picky.
They are picky. They are picky as hell. And a lot of times it's like some apartment complexes are old apartment complexes, and they'll want you to bring an old stove back to life. That type of picky. Like, it's nothing else we can do. We done scrubbed all we can scrub on that stove. Either y'all gonna get a new one or it is what it is, baby.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of times we find apartment complexes to be picky. So as you can see, we actually had a lot of cons for apartment complexes. We got more cons than pros, okay? But hey, we're just being transparent on this thing. I still love it. I'm still growing. I'm still an entrepreneur, and I'm riding this entrepreneurial train right now. So
right.
it is what it is. So moving on to Airbnbs. Pros and cons of Airbnbs. What are some of the pros? I would say one of the pros in Airbnbs is they're not as dirty. They're not as dirty as the apartment complexes.
No,
right?
they're not.
Because if you think about it, these Airbnbs, they're being cleaned more frequently, right, than a move out clean. Being that they're being cleaned more frequently, the stove isn't going to be as bad as in a move out clean. So one of my pros is it's not going to be as dirty as a move out clean. That's one thing I like about it. I would say that it's easier to clean than and move out clean too. You know,
oh, absolutely.
I would say
you don't
it's
have
easier
to worry
to
about
clean
none
too.
of that other stuff. You know, on a move out, you got to worry about wiping the blinds down.
The main thing you have to worry about in Airbnbs is what? The laundry. The laundry. That's it. So we're on pros right now. So the pro is they're not that dirty. The second pro that I have is you can get multiple units to clean. You can get repeat cleans, a lot of turns to clean, and that's a pro. You know, because we want a lot of work. So I like the fact that you can get a lot of repeat cleans with Airbnbs. Another thing I would say is they actually pay you on time. Okay. So for Airbnbs, they will pay you on time. I have some Airbnbs that even pay you the same day. So that is perfect. Whenever you can find those contracts that will pay you same day or like at least every week or something like that, those are excellent to me. I love those type of accounts. Okay. My biggest Airbnb account actually pays on a net 30, but that's because we're turning anywhere between 80 to 100 units every month. So yeah, they pay on a net 30, but I still like the contract because they pay on time. So I know when my money's going to be here every time at the same time every month. So I can deal with that. Cons.
All right, number one. You already said it. It's the laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I never took into consideration how hard it was to do the linen, before we took on the linen. It was more so, okay, because it was so accessible. Because, the people that were doing it before we took over, it was like easy. They made it look easy. And it's like once we took over the linen, it's like it's so convenient to have the linen, but who gonna wash it? It takes so much time to wash it. Then you have to organize it, like
stains.
It's a lot going on with the laundry.
Yes. And then I have a lot of situations where you can wash the linen, and then when my cleaners put the linen on the beds, there's still hair on the sheets. And a lot of times when they're rushing, they're not paying attention to the hair. So guest checks in, sees one string of hair, wants all their money back. World War III on us. So linen would be one of the cons. I cannot stand having to do a lot of linen,
For real.
So we, of course, charge an extra fee for linen. Okay.
All right. Number 2. Sometimes the pay just isn't fair.
because
Because the Airbnbs are big size and they barely want to pay you enough to even outsource it. And it's like you want, what'll be good with that? When they don't pay on time, so they be trying to make us have the Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? They want to have it clean. That go hand in hand with it. Because it's like they be expecting for you to clean a big Airbnb, which looks like a house.
Right.
And 2-story house with about 4 or 5 bedrooms, which they got bathrooms too, but they want you to clean it in 3 hours, and they only pay you $115.
Okay, so let's do it over. So the first one is the laundry. The second one is the pay just is not fair. Sometimes we find it to where they're not fair. They're not being fair with the amount, because we have some very huge Airbnbs to clean. Some of them jokers got 10 beds in it, right? But they don't want to pay you enough to clean it. They'll give you they'll save $150, when you know damn well that's not fair for that large Airbnb to clean. That's just not a fair price. So sometimes we find ourselves going back and forth because they don't want to pay the money. They don't want to pay us what it's worth to clean those large units. That's one thing I would say. I would say it's not fair. Sometimes the pay is just not fair. And what were you saying?
Number 3, they picky. They real picky about everything. I mean, you got to pay attention to the shower curtain, of course. But, they see a crumb, any type of crumb. I mean, I granted that the guests pay about $1,500 to stay a night. But, that can be expected. But the timing, for you to have that short amount of time and to have everything spotless and to deal with that linen, they are very, very, very picky.
Right. And you said something really good. She said the timing, you guys. Usually it takes us they only give us between 11 to 3 o'clock to turn these units. And a lot of times that is not enough time, especially if we have to wash all of the linen in there. I don't know whoever came up with this 4-hour time frame, but whoever came up with it needs to go clean some of our units, and they need to wash all the linen so they can realize that time frame that they give you is not fair. And that's what we deal with in Airbnb land, because a lot of times the people that create these rules, they don't do the work. Right? Mm-hmm. They don't do the work, so they don't understand our pain as cleaners and what we have to go through, or as business owners, what we have to go through coaching and what we have to go through with training our employees. It gets hard.
Yeah, it do. It definitely get hard. And lastly, it says here, last minute turns. They, at the last minute, stuff that's not on schedule, they will easily pop up and call and be like, well, they don't tell you that it's, sometimes they'll say that's a last minute clean, but then sometimes they don't even tell you it's a last minute clean. They'll just make it look like it's your fault and be like, hey, I noticed that this right here was clean, but they clearly see that it wasn't on schedule. So they put it as a last minute clean. It happens repetitively. So you almost have to stay prepared to be, with having someone to clean a unit, period.
Yeah. So we definitely have to have on-call cleaners in our company, because last minute cleans for Airbnbs pop up a lot. And that is one of my cons. So we say Airbnbs, sometimes they don't like to pay you a fair amount to clean very large units. Sometimes they can be very, very picky. They have last minute turns and they give you a short amount of time to turn the units, and that's pretty much it. I really can't think of anything else.
No, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Like I said in the beginning, it may not be what you face, but this is just what we face.
We're talking about us, okay? So please, if you guys have any comments you want to share with us, please comment down below so we all can learn from each other's pain. Okay. I want to hear from some other people out there that are experienced in Airbnb land and that are experienced with move in, move out cleaning, and let us know what you're going through and what you think are pros and cons. Okay. We all can learn and grow from each other. All right. With that being said, I'm just going to close out the podcast. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.